I believe you should pursue a woman, not chase her. Now, although these words may seem similar, the subtle differences can mean the world. And that's what we're going to talk about on today's video. On today's video, I'm going to talk to you about why you should pursue women, not chase them, and what the difference is. So without any further delay, let's hop right into it. Now, let's get this out of the way up front. I do believe a man should make it a priority to have a woman in his life. Notice I said a priority, not the priority. And that's where some of the difference comes in when it comes to pursuing versus chasing women. A man who pursues women has women as a priority in his life, but they're not the be-all, end-all. They're among all the other important priorities in his life. Whereas the guy who's chasing women, women are the priority. It's what he focuses on and puts most of his energy into, which I believe is a mistake. Now, when you're talking about pursuing versus chasing, here's the thing. They both have the same goal in mind, but they have different mindsets and different approaches. Pursuit is purposeful, it's deliberate, it's methodical. A man who's pursuing women is very measured in his approach. A man who pursues women wants a woman, he doesn't necessarily need a woman. But on the other hand, a guy who's chasing women comes from a place of desperation. It comes from a place of inferiority. It makes you put the, you know what, on a pedestal. A man who chases women has no leverage. He's coming from a place of neediness. And that's one of the big differences between a guy who pursues and a guy who chases. The man who pursues women wants and desires women in his life. The guy who chases feels he needs a woman in his life. Think of it this way. Something that's being chased doesn't want to be caught. Think about the position that puts you in if you're a guy who chases women. A lot of times you're chasing these women, they don't even want you. Like a policeman chasing a bank robber or a lion chasing the gazelle and the bank robber don't want to be caught. And here's another subtle difference between the man who pursues women and the one who chases women. The man who pursues is kind. The man who chases is nice. Here's the difference. The actions of a kind man and a nice man may seem similar on the surface. However, the guy who pursues and is kind, he's someone who's compassionate, caring, and generous. But he gives because he wants to and not because he expects something in return. However, usually the guy who's a chaser and is the nice guy is doing these things in the hope of receiving something in return, almost guilting a woman into liking him. Like I always say, I believe a man should be compassionate and generous. That's what a kind guy is. He does things because it's the right thing to do. Whereas the chasing nice guy is going to do these nice things in the hopes of acquiring a woman's attention. Not the way to go about it. So make sure you're the pursuing kind guy, not the chasing nice guy. When you're comparing pursuing and chasing, a lot of it has to do with approach. The guy who's pursuing is methodical. He has a plan. He tends to be much more logical. Now the guy who's pursuing does like to know what women like, and he acquires as much knowledge as possible about the fairer sex, and he uses this information to his advantage and to inform his methods of approach. On the other hand, the chasing guy comes from a sense of urgency. There's no planning. Yes, he wants to know all about what women want, but he doesn't use the knowledge in a logical, methodical way. The guy who's on the pursuit of women takes his time. He gets to know a woman. The chasing guy, he's in a rush. He's anxious. And this approach will often be problematic for the chasing guy. Here's why. The moment he finds a woman he's interested in, he has a sense of urgency. He's in a rush. And when you have a sense of urgency or you're in a rush, you tend to make bad decisions. You tend to overvalue this woman you don't even know. Slow down. Pursue a woman. Take your time. Get to know her. Or better yet, the guy who's pursuing, when he first meets someone, he's probably dating one or two other women at the same time until he makes a decision that this is the one he really wants to pursue. He isn't overvaluing someone he doesn't even know. He doesn't have an urge to put her on a pedestal she doesn't deserve. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of this has to do with mindset. Yes, a guy who pursues women wants a woman in his life, but this is how he feels about a woman he's really interested in. He can live without a woman, but he'd rather not to. The guy who's chasing a woman, he can't live without her. That's a huge difference. And feeling like he can't live without a woman leads to a lot of simpish behavior. He'll bend over backwards. He'll let a woman take advantage of him. And here's where sometimes the internet, I feel, has a bad definition of some terms. A simp is not a guy who pays attention to women, who does nice things for women. The simp is the guy who goes out of his way, breaks his neck, and doesn't make women respect his boundaries. The guy who pursues women, he wants women in his life. He does kind things, but he doesn't let people cross his personal boundaries. He gives and does because he wants to and only if he wants to. He doesn't do it in an effort to curry favor from the woman. When you do go out of your way and break your neck for someone who doesn't deserve it, that's simpish behavior. Don't let anyone ever tell you that wanting a woman in your life is not a priority. Just don't make it the priority. We weren't put on this earth to live by ourselves. We're meant to have companions. The important thing is how you go about getting that companion. Pursue a woman. A man who pursues a woman and finds her has a great addition to his life. His life is much better for it. The guy who's chasing a woman needs the woman. He feels incomplete without a woman. Such a huge difference. So remember, make women a priority, not the priority. Pursue women, don't chase them. Now, in my humble opinion, having a woman in your life is a very worthwhile goal to have. So I definitely believe you should pursue it. Don't let some clown on the internet tell you otherwise. Wanting a woman doesn't make you a simp. But like I've tried to emphasize throughout this video, with a lot of things in life, it's about your mindset, it's about your approach. You want to come at it from an informed point of view. You don't want to be desperate. Remember, it's called the pursuit of happiness, not the chase of happiness. Now, as always, I don't like these videos to only be about my opinion. Let me know in the comment section if you think I got it right. When you think about having women in your life, do you pursue them or do you chase them? Let us know.